Let me start this off by saying always take care of yourself. Always take care of yourself. I know you may have other responsibilities, other people that are relying on you, that's counting on you, and blase blase. Always take care of yourself. In addition to that, let me just say that in life in general, okay, this is beyond the military, but in life in general, a lot of your mental and physical and psychological and emotional well-being is going to be tied to your perspective on things, the way that you look at stuff. You could be in a room full of people and all of y'all are going through the exact same thing, but in a way you're not, because y'all all are experiencing it differently depending on how you feel about it, or how, to some people the glass may look half empty and other people the glass look half full. So me personally, I always try to look at the glass as half full. All that being said, I would like to share with y'all my response to a comment that I get all the time, or I come across all the time. And that's that when you join the military, you ultimately just signing your life away and signing yourself up to die. I don't take offense to that position. There's obviously elements of truth in a statement like that, because you are essentially putting your life on the line, be it for the sake of your country, for your homeland, for international bases and military industrial complex, whatever. I would say even if it's a facet of all of those things, because it's not just one thing. This is a machine with a lot of moving parts. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes some people like to focus on one part of the machine and paint the picture as if that's the whole machine. But it's always more to it than that, just like it's always more than one aspect to you. You get what I'm saying? And neither one of us will want anybody to just look at us through one lens or paint us in one particular light. We're not one-dimensional like that unless we have an environment that conditions us to be. And even if that's the case, oftentimes we still not one-dimensional on a primitive or a subconscious level, because there's a whole lot going on that we may not even be aware about within ourselves. But that's a whole nother subject though. But anyway, getting back to the signing up for combat. Here's the thing that a lot of people won't tell you, and you'll be lucky if you got somebody sharing this word of wisdom with you before you even get yourself into any profession, be it the military or some other industry. And that is, it's more than one way to die, G. It's more than one way to die, and we need to always go into any situation with a full perspective of that. So when I said I was enlisted in the military, I did have that conversation a few times with different people, and their primary concern was my safety. They say, no, you're gonna go off, and how do you know you're not gonna get deployed or be in a combat zone, and you're gonna be, you think you might be doing construction, but you might still end up in a ditch somewhere or somewhere out at sea in battle and shooting people and stuff like that. And it's like, come on, bro. I'm from Chicago. It's people out here shooting each other right now over Twitter, bro. Real talk, over some rap beefs, over ego. You feel me? Over retaliation, over gossip, over clout, trying to get some clout. And I understand people got different values, but my values don't align with that. That's not something I'm willing to die for, is clout and miscellaneous beefs over nothing for the most part. At some point, it just becomes concern trolling to me, because I still interact with certain community organizers and I still interact with certain people in the Chicago music scene. But nobody had these concerns when I was out here messing around with the music scene, or when I was around people that was advocating protests and things of that nature. Things that are going on in shady parts of town, or that's putting people in compromising positions right here in Chicago. You want to talk about getting deployed to a combat zone? Bro, we in a combat zone. I was born and raised in a combat zone. What the fuck is you talking about? We went to school in a combat zone. Some of us are just standing around chilling in a combat zone. I can still be out south, standing outside in front of the store, in front of the restaurant, wherever, on a Friday night in the summertime. Tell me that ain't a combat zone in Chicago. But for whatever reason, I don't never hear those lectures when I'm just standing outside doing nothing with them. I gotta hear those lectures when I join the military. That's scary to me. I see through that. Them the same people that was telling me don't travel by myself. Them the same people that was telling me don't hang around anybody that don't have the same political ideologies that they may have, or that I may have. Like they just know you can't survive in other environments or around other people. And don't get it twisted. I'm not denying the fact that when you sign up for something like the military, you placing yourself in a position where you may have to kill or be killed. That's why they ask you up front, are you a conscientious objector or whatever? I hope I said that right. But basically, are you cool with the smoke? Do you know you signing up for the smoke, bro? They ask you multiple times, are you sure you want to do this? Are you having second thoughts? Is anybody trying to talk you out of this? They're going to keep asking you this over and over to make sure that this is really your decision. This is what you want to do. Speak now or forever hold your peace. But that's only one way to die in the military. And I would argue that that's possibly the least common way to die in the military, is in combat, where you die physically. Okay, now mind you, I'm recording this 6 days before I ship out, so I'm still on the outside looking in. But I would argue that the more common form of death, which is not a physical death, could be a spiritual death or a psychological or an emotional death. I see that all the time, and that's not just in the military, that's somewhere everywhere. You feel me? In the Navy, they say choose your rate, choose your fate, or choose your MOS for any other branches. All right, and guess what? There's a lot of people out here, not just in the military, but in the world in general, just working jobs that they hate, or they doing something that they not passionate about, or something that they had no idea what they were signing up for. That's a more common way of dying, in my opinion. And that's a slow and painful death, G. Nobody talks about that. I would much rather face a quick and hopefully painless death than a slow and agonizing death of showing up to something that you hate every day and there's no way out without consequences. And even if it was a way out, you don't even know yourself anymore to the point where you could figure out what you could do afterwards. There's people in situations like that all over the place. And again, this is not just the military. I don't want to lecture y'all too long, but I do want to say that choose your rate, choose your fate stuff is real. You should take that and incorporate it into everything in life, because some people are going to do very well because this is what they like to do. They're going to have a hard time because their heart is not really in it. They really don't even know or care about what the is going on. But once you get into something, you get into something. And when people try to paint that picture of the military, I see that same picture here at home. It's people that won't leave Chicago, and it's like, okay, well, that was once you make that decision, you made that decision. You don't want to stand here. Ain't nobody forcing you to stay here. If you out here on some street stuff, I understand some people do it because it's cool. Some people do it for protection. Different people got different reasons, but they still had a choice. That's where looking at the glass half empty or half full comes into play. Everything ain't going to be perfect. Your glass may always be half empty, but if you focus on the empty part, you're not even going to enjoy the full part. Don't die slow, y'all. You don't want to die slow. You want to put yourself in a position where you're doing something that you enjoy, where you can be present in a moment, where you can actually wake up with a purpose and feel like, hey, I'm looking forward to whatever it is that I got to take care of today. You want to be in that position.